The Cincinnati Zoo. After 7 years of perfecting their own concept of an African oasis, they once again have something big and something new. The Roo Valley, a 2020 development replacing the Wildlife Canyon, where lesser-known hoofstock, including the Sumatran rhinoceros, were displayed for over 100 years. But over time, the less rare animals there were, the more outdated it seemed to look, and it was time for a change. Roo Valley is the first completed project of the zoo's $150 million master plan. $13 million went into it. Now that's a lot of money for something so simple, but there were other elements that came with the animals. The first being the Hops Beer Garden, a small 4-star restaurant. The building isn't new, but now it has an extended deck that gives you a preview of what's below. The second is the Kanga Climb, a multi-leveled rope course with over 50 activities placed over the rhino's former home, and it will be open by the spring of 2021. And now the third, at the bottom of the valley, a highlight people wait 45 minutes to experience. The Kangaroo Walkabout, where you're welcome to explore the path that loops through this 15,000 square foot yard, where not a thing keeps you and the animals apart. Where you venture once roamed warty pigs, toucans and camels, and now you can walk amongst kangaroos. The first roos at the zoo since they were once displayed in the Children's Zoo barnyard for the summer of '06. You'll find two kinds, red and gray. You can tell them apart not quite always by their color, but by their size and the texture of their fur. The reds are the largest marsupials in the world, while gray kangaroos are smaller and have fluffier fur. The zoo has 3 of each, all between the ages of 1 and 2, all male and all named after professional boxers. Their habitat has stations to cool off with fans, piles of sand, and lots of brush that will eventually grow. As expected, the roos started off a little shy, staying in their barn, but based on my recent visits, they're starting to get much more comfortable with their visitors. While all of this is beautiful, some were a bit concerned Roo Valley would only have roos. Luckily, the zoo gave it a bit of a twist. A brand new home for their little blue penguins, also known as the smallest penguin in the world. The zoo started off with 6 in 1999, and since then over 100 have hatched. There's now 34, which I believe makes it the largest blue penguin colony in America, and I guarantee that number is not done growing. Like the kangaroos, they too were displayed in the Children's Zoo. While their exhibit was still adequate, nothing of course can beat seeing them in a larger space, but also watching this colony swim in one of the clearest tanks you'll ever see, filled with 100% rainwater that's collected and stored in a 100,000 gallon retention tank stored underneath the roos. While this is enclosed by net, the habitat itself is open top, placing the penguins within less than an arm's reach. And they're not the only birds. The blues may not be a new species, but the freckled ducks, Australian wood ducks, and the New Zealand scops are. The zoo states with the addition of modern elements to the exhibit, it will keep the animals warmer, so you'll be able to see these aquatic birds even in colder weather. You're put back in with the roos and can head out, but before exiting, you're first encouraged to try and hop like one of them. And that completes the Roo Valley, but while it took the Wildlife Canyon's place, one thing in this area did remain. The Eagleerie, a nearly 200-foot-long, 35-foot-wide, 72-foot-high aviary that was built in 1970, which at the time made it one of the world's largest flight cages. It's split in 2 parts, containing stellar sea eagles in the larger area and Andean condors in the smaller one. You could walk along the entire length of the cage from below or go up top in the observation decks, so you can be in the air with some of the world's largest flying birds, where there used to be nothing between you and these raptors. Though it's received very few renovations over the years, I think the Eagleerie still does hold up as a quality habitat to this day. With the Roo Valley, Australia is no longer one of the least represented parts of the world at the Cincinnati Zoo, but it did replace some uncommon animals that will definitely be missed. Let me know below what you think of it and or what you would have done differently. And thank you for watching.